This screencast is a brief overview of guiding principles of backward design, specifically Stage 1 of the framework. The backward design process was created by Grant Wiggins and Jay McTee and begins with the idea of development and deepening of student understanding with the end in mind. This could be a bit misleading, as generally people tend to interpret the process as starting with creating activities, then creating learning objectives. But the emphasis of backward design is on the process of how you get to learning objectives, determine evidence of understanding, and then pulling learning activities together. Designing course using this methodology includes 3 stages. In Stage 1, we establish the goals or desired results for the entire course. In Stage 2, we determine acceptable evidence that the goals were achieved. And in Stage 3, we actually plan learning experiences and activities. This process helps to avoid the common problems of treating a textbook as a curriculum rather than resource, and activity-oriented teaching without clear priorities and purposes. Let's take a closer look at Stage 1 backward design framework. In this stage, we deal with the big question: why do we ask students to do certain things? This question helps us to determine what is worthy and requires action for developing a deeper understanding in the course. At the top level, desired results are predefined outcomes and are already established by accredited bodies and programs before you even start developing your course. They usually include relevant goals that come from the professional standards in your field. Course development starts with the big idea, which informs the whole process of the design. It is overarching and also serves as a hook for your students to get curious. Big ideas usually transfer to other concepts, other disciplines, real life. They require uncovering or further inquiry of meaning, amount of understandings required to acquire deeper knowledge of the concept. The big ideas are abstract, open-ended, they reveal more ideas and transfer to other contexts. As you define your big idea, you can double-check its scope by asking questions like, does it have many layers not obvious to the inexperienced learner? Do students have to dig deep to really understand its meaning or implications? Does it reflect the core ideas and professional standards? The big ideas unfold or reveal specific understandings that help make sense of what is acceptable evidence of learning. In this diagram, I have unfolded my big idea, the internet is a learning environment, into 2 specific understandings. These are core must-know concepts that are necessary for students to know in order to comprehend how the internet functions as a learning environment. Generally, the big idea will have a number of understandings, and the understandings will guide your course structure and help with chunking of your content into topics, units, and weeks. Just like big idea unmasks understandings, each understanding unpacks into essential questions. Essential questions are a crucial part of backward design. These are vital to ask because they comprise the essence of the understandings about the big idea. Let's take a look at one of the enduring understandings from the earlier slide. Internet provides tools to produce work representing your own point of view through multimedia authoring tools for text, images, audio, and video production. The essential questions inquire into big ideas and core content, arguable, stimulate rethinking, and make connections with prior learning and personal experiences. They are points of inquiry and are most effective when they are open-ended, generative, provocative. They don't have an obvious right answer and are often evoke other questions and help to create units for the entire course. Similarly to enduring understandings, each essential question should be able to lead to more non-essential, smaller in scope questions. These questions will become guides for developing learning objectives and actual instructional material and learning experiences. Student learning objectives are clear expectations of what students will be able to demonstrate after completing the lesson. They tie directly to evidence of the learning that exhibits deeper understandings. Objectives are result-oriented and derive from essential and non-essential questions. They have to be measurable and account for the way to determine if students fulfill the expectations. Student learning objectives bridge essential questions and the evidence of student learning. They link directly to creating activities in stage 3 of backward design process. In conclusion, although backward design at first seems a complicated task, if you look at stage 1 process as a fluid, holistic way for arriving to learning objectives and outcomes for each lesson, where each part derives from the other, it makes a better sense. Essentially, the end result of going through all stages of backward design will look something like this diagram. As you work through steps of different stages of backward design for each understanding, you start creating units for your course, culminating in activities and learning experiences.